Welcome to F&I Today. I'm your host, Becky Chernick. Today we'll be discussing the importance of a dream team concept. Sell more cars and increase your PVR by $1,700. Derek, an F&I professional who's been in the business, at least in F&I for 3 years, works for a large automotive group, asked me a question the other day. So with all the responsibilities and duties of an F&I manager, why do dealers often allow the sales managers the ability to override the F&I manager's decisions? So this isn't the first time I've heard that question, and it probably won't be the last. It happens a lot more frequently than what it should. So over the years, the sales managers, as you know, are responsible for moving units, whatever it takes. Come heck or high water, we're selling cars today. So the F&I manager is most often the one that'll push back on the spot, telling their people to come up with more reasons why a deal can't get approved, or even requiring steps to get it funded. In many dealerships, the mentality is like Jekyll and Hyde. Dr. Jekyll being that mad sales manager, and Mr. Hyde, the all-cool F&I manager who wants to follow the rules. So as you can imagine, letting that sales manager override or step all over that F&I department is a very bad mistake. So when was the last time you sent your sales manager to an F&I school? And why should you? Has your sales manager gone to a compliance workshop lately? And why is that so important that they have some knowledge regarding compliance? It is your responsibility to assure that all retail sales associates understand the rules of engagement. Every time I have a sales manager show up at one of my workshops, they often complain about being there, telling me they have no idea why the dealer sent them. In response, I'll ask, do you discuss payments, rates, and terms with the customer? So compliance, guys, does not begin in the F&I office. It begins the very minute your customer lands on that dealership website or walks in the door. Not disclosing terms or hiding these terms or sending a deal into the F&I office that isn't complete is bad business. And in some cases, the customer, which I can't believe, hasn't even seen a buyer's agreement. Some people who attend my workshop will tell me that they don't get the customer to sign a buyer's agreement anymore. And before the deal goes into the F&I office, they simply transmit the deal to F&I, or they'll use this e-pencil worksheet. But I have news for you. I can't begin to tell you how often I review these e-pencil worksheets only to find the payments are missing or the buying numbers don't even match the menu. It's about a paper trail and validating that you have a solid meeting of minds between the customer and the dealership. It's critical that the customer understands the terms of the sale and that those terms will also match the menu. Unfortunately, somehow or the other, this seldom is the case. Sales managers are also notorious for writing all over these worksheets in confusing fashion, using abbreviations such as WAC, OAC, or WCA that makes no sense to the customer. None of these disclosures will hold up if your dealership winds up in a court of law. So when finance managers ask a sales manager to make sure that the customer understands the terms of the sale, they're being a pain and getting in the way of selling cars. The checklist is there for a reason, but far too often it's not even filled out or completed. This only slows down F&I more. The F&I manager is instructed to take the deal anyway. Let's not slow it down. But if the paperwork was right to begin with and the checklist was actually completed like it should, it would make for a much happier customer and speed up the overall delivery. Look, I am not trying to beat up on the sales manager, and I realize some of you think that I might be. But every single sales associate in the dealership has to be accountable to assure that these transactions, they're complete and accurate. Throw the egos out the window. They are only self-serving and likely costing you a fortune. For example, if your F&I manager isn't allowed on the desk, you gotta ask yourself why. Are you being overly territorial? Why haven't you invited your F&I manager to a sales meeting? The F&I manager should always be invited to attend a sales meeting, and they should be prepared to cover a variety of topics, such as how to complete a credit application, how to discuss products earlier on in the sale, how to discuss payments if they come up, how to determine earlier on in the process if your customer has slow pay history, or how to discuss a lease versus finance or conversion. The list goes on. Another reason the F&I manager must be allowed into the meeting is because it creates a positive perception for the sales team that the F&I manager is a leader and has their back. And in many dealerships that I visit, the F&I manager happens to be, in most cases, the most talented closer in the store. So why wouldn't you want your sales team to hear what your F&I manager has to say? A dual departmental approach wreaks havoc on your profits. In one store that will go nameless, they sell a ton of cars. They make all the profit front and back end. And the sales manager and finance manager, they actually work together. The F&I manager is at the desk, and in fact, this will blow you away. They even present menus on the floor. I've been talking about this for years, gone to deaf ears. Right there on the floor, these guys are making $1,700 per car, selling all the products. So with success stories like these out there, I don't know why it's so hard for everyone to get behind a team strategy concept. It's frustrating when expectations is unrealistic and not in alignment with today's business environment. Why isn't the desk responsible for ensuring that the customer has a driver's license or adequate insurance? Why are deals making their way into the F&I office without proof of income, proof of residence, or without OFAC even being pulled, or these red flag checks performed to determine if the individual that you're about to sell a car to might be a possible identity hack? I can't begin to tell you how many times a dealer has gone after a vehicle they delivered because they had to find out the hard way that the customer was bogus or outright lied on the credit report. It's happening a lot, more than ever before. And it wouldn't if everyone pitched in and did what they were supposed to do by holding to the same standards and these practices of the F&I manager or department. The process must be adhered to from the front to the back with no deviations. Sales managers must respect the duties and responsibilities of that F&I department, and the F&I manager must make it a point to respect the sales department too. Get out of the office, meet with the salespeople, do what you can to make sure that they know that you have their back. Find out the reasons behind a customer's slow pay history by conducting a credit interview with the customer earlier on in the process. Teach the salespeople the benefit of meeting you earlier on in the sales process, and whatever you do, don't come across as a deal stopper. You want to come across as someone who is there to get more deals approved, and you are. And let's face it, the more information you can get your hands on earlier on the sales process, the better it will be. The difference will be huge. So are you putting the customer on the right vehicle that makes sense based on that bank guidelines and the customer's PTI or budget? Does your desk know your current bank guidelines? And if not, why? Now, if you're concerned that providing them with the bank guidelines will end up with them giving up the farm and quoting payments to the cent on extended terms or backing into the deal and making no profit, get with the general manager. The desk manager is likely, under these circumstances, just sending mind deals into the F&I office and actually costing the dealer tons of sales and profits. It has to stop. Having a holistic approach will create a seamless process that is upfront and does away with the smoke and mirrors. Doing this positively will impact results, not only in selling more cars, but increasing your PVR to $1,700 or more. Remember, it takes two to tango. Derek, I hope dealers will finally understand the importance of managing the desk like they manage the F&I department. Well, thank you for joining me on F&I Today. Be sure to come back next week right here on the CVT Automotive Network for our next edition of F&I Today. Contact me regarding my consulting services. My specialty is helping auto dealers achieve high levels of performance and profit by improving internal processes that begin the moment that customer touches down on the dealership website and ends with finalizing in-person transactions in F&I. My techniques are proven and make for a serious impact in your overall performance. Also, let's discuss my online free analysis with no obligation. What you will learn will save you millions of dollars in lost revenue. My in-dealership training is guaranteed, or your money back if not completely satisfied. Contact me today to learn more.
F&I Today, brought to you by eLend Solutions.